Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of What Are Your Thoughts? I'm your host, Allie, and I'm excited to have you here today. I'm excited to be here today. I am on a layover, and I slept in. I feel great. Today is a great day. Just been flying a lot. It's still December. Christmas is coming up. I'm fully in festive owl Christmas mode. I only listen to Christmas music right now. I only want to watch Christmas movies. And I've had a hot toddy almost every night in December. And what else? Put up my tree. Put up the lights. Just festive owl full mode. Today's episode is a fun one. I know I say that every week, but I got to sit down with my friend Jen Emswiler, and from Jen to Zen. She's got a podcast too, and we did like a Vogue style interview thing, flipped the script a little bit. So she sat down and interviewed me for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So hope you guys enjoy it. I like connecting with you guys, so hope this will be just a fun way to connect deeper with y'all. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode.
So Allie has been doing What Are Your Thoughts for a few months now, and we thought it would be fun for her listeners, for y'all, to get to know her a little better. She's usually the interviewer, so today it's her turn to be interviewed. And we're both obsessed with Vogue style questions, like the 73 questions. And so this is going to be a condensed version of that, just to get to know Allie a little bit better. So hey girl, what up?
Hey girl, hey. Not much. Chilling in my hotel room in Las Vegas.
I love it. Okay, should we dive on in?
Yeah, let's get this. Let's do it.
Do the thing. Okay. What is your sign, Enneagram, or personality test type?
My sign is an Aquarius. Very true, very accurate. And we've chatted before about the Enneagram test, and I still have never retaken it since we last talked about it in like June. Maybe I'm a 4. I don't know. I need to revisit that, but yeah, we're gonna revisit that one. I have personality test. I am an INFP to the core.
Amazing. How do you feel like you relate to these?
I don't know. I think there's like, you have to be careful with like the balance of like, finding things that like fit you, or like, is that really you? I think it can be interesting with the signs and the tests where it's like you read something and it's not really you, but since it is, that's when you were born or that's what you scored, you have to be careful to like morph into that, or is that really you?
Sure.
I definitely know I'm introverted. I definitely know most of the Aquarius traits are pretty accurate if you know me, but I guess I would say, I don't know, I can be very hot and cold. I can just shut off, turn the feelings off. Not the healthiest, but that's pretty Aquarius trait. And yeah, I don't know, dreamer, believer, seeker, adventurer.
I love it.
But needs her alone time very much.
Totally. I love that. And I think that's really relatable. And I love that you pointed out that it is kind of like a balance. Like I feel like all of those things are just information for you to kind of take in and apply or relate to in whatever way serves you best. So That's amazing. Okay. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, please don't laugh at me. And I know this is so vain.
I'm so excited.
I wanted to come up with this like well curated, like, oh, okay, like answer, but I even asked my mom, I'm like, what did I like want to be? She's like, you always wanted to be a model. So
I love it.
shout out to all the models killing it. I've never been one and probably never will be one, but I don't know. I was so in love with America's Next Top Model as a child, and I don't know. I thought that was like the goal of all goals to be.
I love it. I mean, I think that that's like adorable and also really relatable, you know? And I feel like as we were growing up, that was really popular and super glamorized, you know?
Oh, totally. It's like, you know, that at such a young age we're asked like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people are like astronauts, doctors, veterinarians, firefighters, and I'm like, a model.
Amazing. I feel like I wonder, did you guys ever have where you could show up at elementary school and you were like dressed like how you wanted to grow up? Like I am just having this picture of young Al like showing up as a model and everyone's like, "What are you?" And you're
Yeah.
like, "I'm a model, obviously."
Yeah, I think I was like really obsessed with Reese Witherspoon and Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, and just
Oh yeah.
I don't know, that whole vibe. Like you can just picture it now, like zigzag middle part, like
Yeah.
middle length hair flipped out, like cool glasses, like flared jeans, like always striking a pose. That was truly me.
I love, oh my gosh, amazing. And it is such a vibe. Like it is such a vibe. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, what was your first job?
My first job was good old the backbone of American fast food, McDonald's.
Amazing.
I that was my first job was when I was 18, and I worked there long enough to buy a 1989 Honda Accord, and once I reached that goal, I quit.
I think we've talked about this before, and I just love this story. I feel like it's so good.
Like I think I have good work ethic now 10 years later, but back then it was like boys, driving in my car, listening to music, travel. I don't want to work, but that's a part of life. So
I mean, it sounds like you were very intentional. Like you got the job, it served its purpose, then you were like, bye.
like bye losers, but fun enough, McDonald's is like literally my favorite fast food, and I haven't had it in a while, but there was a time where I had it at least once a month at minimum.
I love it. That's so great. I would ask you what you order, but we'll save that for next time.
That
What is, oh, go ahead.
no, I said that will be a surprise.
Perfect. I look forward to that. Okay. What is something most people wouldn't know about you?
Um, I don't want to get all dark and twisty in this moment, but I will say something most people don't know about me is, and it's something I just realized recently, is I really struggle with being liked.
Hmm.
Like I think I'm a pretty well liked person, but when people don't like me, I have a really hard time with that because I'm like, well, why wouldn't you like me? I'm Al, I'm sunshine, and learning that you're not for everyone is not a bad thing.
Hmm.
But I do struggle
Totally.
with, like that, like people pleasery, like just like me part.
Oh, yeah. That's so relatable and so real. You're
So
so great.
not to be like, what was me? Like I'm not looking for sympathy or whatever, but I think, yeah, I didn't realize that till recently that, we all want to be liked, and
Hmm.
it's
Oh my God. Yeah,
hard to deal with it when you're not.
definitely. So, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, well, first of all, McDonald's. Like, I'm the first to admit, I know there's so many people out there that are like, ew, I hate McDonald's, or ew, I hate fast food, but I am not that person, and I truly do love me a McChicken, Diet Coke, and boxed mac and cheese, and cringy TV series, like reality TV.
Love, love, love. All great guilty pleasures to have.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I feel like my list would be very long. What is your favorite thing to do after you've been flying for days?
Well, I am on day 4 of flying, so tomorrow will look like turning my phone off for the entire day, probably. Not talking to anyone, taking a hot bath, and probably go for a long walk.
That sounds like a perfect day off.
I feel like after flying for a couple days, my battery is at like 1%. And, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it's taxing on you mentally, physically, emotionally. And so it's like, I just look at it as like I'm just plugging myself back in. And, when your phone is dead, you just plug it in and let it be till it's charged, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I recharge and unwind after a long couple of days of flying. It's just a little like a hard reset.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I love that you do that. I love that you kind of have that boundary and you know what you need to sort of recharge and feel more have that energy back.
Yeah.
Okay, so similar to that, but a little different. How do you spend your time on flights, in airports, and hotels?
Well, I will divvy this up into 2 answers. Pre-COVID, I would go out with my crews. I would explore. I always try and find like a good local coffee shop and, get coffee wherever I went. And now I typically stay in because most things are shut down, read, go for a walk. I still try and find coffee, but, different cities and different areas have different restrictions. So lately, my layovers have been, there's a term in the flight attendant world called a slam clicker, which means you like slam your door shut and you click the TV on. And so I think I've turned into a slam clicker lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that it's really hard right now traveling for one, but two, really just having to stay in your hotel and kind of riding it out there until you have to fly again, right?
Right, because there's certain places where like you literally can't go do anything, and then there's some where you can still like yesterday I was in Denver and I was out of dry shampoo and tampons, so I took myself on a walk on a date to Target in downtown Denver to get the girly essentials. So
there you go.
just roll with the punches, go with the flow, and I do a lot of face masks. I take baths, and I've really upped my sleeping game during COVID.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel similarly, and I'm not even flying. So it sounds lovely.
Yeah, we love it.
It's the best. Okay. So, which of your traits are you most proud of?
Okay, this question took me a while to like answer because I feel like it's so natural, or it's unnatural to find good things about ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
And so like when I like was thinking about it, I came across and decided that I was proud of my communication skills and letting people know how I'm feeling.
I love that. That's such a good thing to be proud of and to recognize.
Yeah, I feel like, we're always talking about communication and misunderstandings. And, I boil down a lot of the root of problems is miscommunication and not telling people how you feel, like either in that moment or shortly after. And I feel like at least with like my inner circle and my family, I've gotten a lot better over the years at saying like, hey, when you did that, it hurt me, or hey, I wasn't feeling my best, or, can you clarify this with me? Hey, I just want
Mm-hmm.
to, and I feel so grown up about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a huge, I think, perspective to have, especially as an adult and in relationships. And as you were talking, I was thinking, like, God, we communicate like so much. It's like one thing that all humans do. And
Right.
so striving to be better or to be more self aware is huge. And why
Well,
don't we all do that?
coming from the girl who, in high school would run up the stairs and scream and reenact that scene from Superstar, Mary Catherine Walker, I hate you all. And she would just open and slam her door, open and slam her door. That was high school Al. And so it's like fast forward to 10 years. Now we're almost 28. I can call up my sister and say, hey, last week when this happened, I just wanted to whatever. And it's cool to see the growth. And
Yes.
I've not always been good at communicating. And if you know me, and especially if you're my sisters or my mom or my boyfriend listening, you know that not that long ago, my default was, I'm fine, it's fine.
It's so huge growth. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Yay. Okay. Let's see. What is the best meal you've ever had?
Oh my gosh. Probably anything pasta related.
Mm,
I will, let me take us back to New York. Let me flip through my photos really quick. I'm almost there because I really want to find this place so I can put it in the show notes. And when things reopen, you guys have to go. They don't take reservations. It's first come, first serve. And we didn't know that. And so by the time we got there, it was like, I think it's in Brooklyn maybe, and it was like 8 o'clock. They're like, oh yeah, our next booth will be available at like 11. So like we didn't sit down and eat this pasta till 11 or something. But they had the best gnocchi. They had the best, what is it? Carbonara and pork belly and cocktails. Oh my gosh. It's called Via Carota on 51 Grove Street. You have to go. It's amazing.
that sounds like a dream. And also, like, they make you work for it a little, which makes it so much more rewarding. But also, pasta in New York City, I feel like, is always such a treat.
Yeah, it's like this. It's not like a hole in the wall. Like it's definitely a more upscale place, but there's always such a long line and a huge wait, and it was so worth it. Like we were so hungry and our feet were so tired from walking all day, but once we sat down, we just ordered like one of everything, and that was probably the last time I had like just I dream about it.
That sounds so delicious. And also, I miss New York City. So,
Same.
ah,
So much.
so much. Ah, that meal sounds delicious. Okay, so switching gears a tad, in moments of self doubt or days when you maybe feel more down, how do you build yourself back up?
Ooh, that one is hard for me. Um, I like to call, um, I like to, what would you call it? Like a self pity party for one, as my initial reaction. Then I
Sure.
usually, phone a friend, cry it out, dance it out. Just letting someone know how I feel and knowing
Mm,
my feelings and making sure I'm telling someone that's not going to invalidate my feelings no matter how ridiculous they are.
mm,
I think that's the key.
totally.
I definitely haven't mastered like the a very healthy way to build myself back up. Definitely cry it out, and then I usually get over it.
Yeah, I feel like it takes time sometimes, but it does sound like you have sort of a your own healthy way of doing it. I feel like it's such a process.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful to, have a job that I frequently get drug tested, so I don't partake in any of the drugs. So I'm sure if I could, maybe I would dabble in that as an outlet. But, thank goodness there are rules and structure in my life, because I am a very I have a good, not a good, a very addictive personality. And, so thankful that my options are crying it out and dancing it out.
Totally. Oh my God. And that's so important. And I feel like arriving at or being more mindful of what works for you in those moments of self-doubt or feeling down is so important.
Right. And I think, we can sit and compare ourselves like, oh, well, that person, meditates or they go for a walk. And I'm like, they don't feel sorry for themselves. And then it's like you struggle with that guilt and shame and that whole.
Oh, sure. Totally. Totally. No, that's such a real answer. I love it. And that's kind of why I wanted to ask you that, because I feel like you're very open and transparent about how you're doing. And I think that's something that I personally really admire. And I feel like at least I'll speak for my experience, it makes me feel less alone in my journey as a human. We're all going through stuff and we all process things differently, and it's okay to talk about it.
Right. 100%.
And I love that you do. So, Allie, when did you first know you wanted to podcast?
Oh gosh. Probably 6 years ago when I first got into podcasts. And I wish for the life of me that I could remember who introduced me to podcasts. Obviously I do not give myself credit that I stumbled upon them myself, but a couple years ago I started listening to self-help, self-motivation, and that kind of genre of podcasts. And I was like, I could do this. And then now here we are 6 years later, and we're doing it. And I don't know, I just wanted to have a space and a place to put myself out there, and hopefully that would attract other humans to put themselves out there, and we could just do the thing and keep doing it.
I love that. And I'm so glad that you decided to become a podcaster, because that's how we met.
Oh, it's been fun, and I'm grateful for all the people that I've got to connect with.
Oh my gosh, and we're so grateful for you.
No, thank you.
Okay, sorry. He's finally back. Okay, we got 2 more questions and then favorites. Okay. So, what is something that you couldn't live without? This could be like a tool, an object, a ritual, whatever you want. One thing.
One thing. Okay. Gosh, that is hard. I feel like I have a triple tie for first place.
Ooh, maybe tell us.
Okay.
I'm allowing there to be flexibility, but yeah, I'm curious. A triple tie.
I think it's so hard to think universally or overall, because I've been so we all have been so rattled by 2020, and I think for this season of life, I would have to say my Spotify playlists, my essential oils, and really loving my Kindle and how much I've read this year.
Oh, those are all so good. I'm so glad you shared all 3.
So I'm like,
love
ooh, it's like a trifecta. That's the perfect day of all those things. I can sense, smell, touch, read, see, hear, all those things.
I love that. That is such a great idea. I feel like that's a perfect kind of self-care afternoon in my mind.
Yeah, so it's been
those things.
Self-care every day.
Oh my God, right? I feel like that's partially how I've been getting through 2020.
Right.
All the self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of 2020, what is one thing you've learned during this season?
Ooh, that's a good question. Are you ready?
I am.
Life is short.
Mm,
That's it.
that's it.
Life is short.
That's so powerful. It is.
Trying to think of some, meaningful, deep, long, whatever, but life is short. Actually, hold on. I did just you're like, that's not what I asked you, but okay. This book I just started reading last night, it's called Before We Were Yours. And in like the very first couple pages, the author said, in my multifold years of life, I have learned that most people get along as best they can. They don't intend to hurt anyone. It is merely a terrible byproduct of surviving.
Wow.
And I was like, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just kind of goes like, I feel like we're all just surviving this year.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that we're not intentionally trying to hurt anyone, but it's like we're all just, life is short and we're all just surviving a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like that's a really eloquent way of putting living, like how we live and move through every day, every year. And, I think this year has shown us so much. So life is short.
Yeah. You heard it
Okay. So I want to do sort of like a rapid fire favorites.
I love that.
More Vogue style. So they're going to be quick.
Okay.
So, all right.
Let's do it.
You're ready. Okay. Favorite food?
Hands down, spaghetti.
Favorite cocktail or beverage?
Ooh, either a Manhattan or an old fashioned, really anything with whiskey.
Favorite podcast?
Mine, obviously. I really like My Favorite Murder, Crime Junkies, Brene Brown's podcast, Unlocking Us, from Jen to Zen. I don't know if you've heard of her. Yeah, a mixture of self-healing and murder.
Makes a lot of sense. Favorite book you've read this year?
Ooh, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover.
Favorite book of all time?
Ooh, City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert.
Favorite product?
The Oat to Milk Cleanser by Coco Kind, my face wash. The most luxurious thing that I could do for myself ever.
Amazing. Favorite way to do self-care?
Take a long shower followed up with 8 to 12 hours of sleep.
Sleep is life.
It really is.
Favorite show you've binged recently?
The Crown. Or I should say, The Crown.
The Crown. Favorite show of all time?
Grey's Anatomy.
I knew that, but just for your listeners.
I think everyone knows that, and that's how I've like scratched and made like all these surface bonds with anyone on the internet. I'm like, you like Grey's Anatomy? You like Grey's Anatomy? Perfect. We're all friends.
We're friends. I love it. Favorite piece of clothing?
Ooh, probably I don't know how to say the name. It's the Target brand, but it's like the set of pajamas. They're like button up, really soft ones.
Ooh.
Something.
Those sound delightful.
I don't know. Just matching pajamas in any form.
Favorite show of all time?
We answered that, and that is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Just wanted to harp on that again.
Just wanted to like let you guys know, like both Jen and I are like huge Grey's Anatomy fans. Like,
yeah,
day one.
That was definitely. I feel like it was a test question for each of us, where we were like, "What is one of your favorite shows?" Oh, okay, we both like Grey's. Friends.
Like, we don't know if we can continue if you're not gonna say Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, there's like a different level. Favorite ritual?
This sounds so woo-woo, but I'm just being myself. Starting all 5 of my diffusers in my house. It helps me slow down in the morning because I'm a very high energy person right when I wake up. My nickname from birth has been Sunshine. And from about 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m., I'm very high strung and awake, and then I decline and need to take a nap. So starting my diffusers helps me slow down because it takes forever.
I love that. Favorite band or musician?
Ooh, it's another 3-way tie between Ellie Goulding, Leon Bridges, and John Mayer.
Oh my gosh. I love it. And I'm saying that because I agree. Favorite scent?
Anything manly or like woodsy, cypress, cedarwood, sandalwood, all the woods, into the woods.
All the woods.
Yeah.
Just that. And last but not least, favorite movie?
That is hard. And we talked about this earlier. Now that we're in the festival, holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate season, I feel like all movies are like muted, and I've watched so many like cheesy Hallmark movies that my brain is just like, what is a good film anymore? I would say Return to Me with Minnie Driver in it.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
I love like an aesthetically pleasing movie with a good soundtrack.
Oh my God, that movie is so good. I'm probably going to watch it today.
It's so good.
It is so good. All the feels too.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Well, Allie, it has been such a joy having this sweet conversation with you. I definitely learned some things about you, and I think your listeners probably did too. But we love what you do. Keep being you. And I'm so glad that we got a little peek into Allie's world today.
Thank you for interviewing me, and I can't wait to put it out into the world and get to know all of my listeners better and for them to know me better. It was fun to be on the other side of I'm still behind a mic, but whatever I'm trying to say, it was fun to be on the other side.
The other side indeed. And we also really love when you are the interviewer. So keep doing what you do best.
Well, guys, I hope you know me a little bit better and you feel a little more connected to me. That was really fun to sit down and be interviewed with Jen. Check out her podcast, From Jen to Zen. She is an incredible person, and I can't believe we haven't even met in real life. Like you said, I think we met in a past life for sure, but nonetheless, check out her podcast. She is all things wellness, mindfulness, meditation, yoga, oils, just a really calming way to start your morning. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And by the time this is live, I think we have 2 weeks left of 2020. So make the best of it. Make the most of it. I know it's been a weird, hard year, but you know, a lot of good has come from it, and I'm just going to take the rest of the year to reflect and strategize for 2021. And this is, if you are someone who believes in signs and those things, if you've been listening for a while and you're like, I want to start a podcast, I want to write a book, I want to start a vlog, do whatever, I want a new job, I don't want to date this guy anymore, I want to move to a different country, do it. Life is freaking short. Like I said, do the things that scare you, and the worst that can happen is you don't like it and you go back to whatever you were doing. So with that being said, I love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful week. And how is it the end of the year? we made it. Barely. Almost. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.